Okay, let's paint a picture. You're out there, maybe a remote drilling site, or facing a critical shutdown that's scheduled, maybe even responding to something serious like a pipeline rupture. These really high stakes industrial places where honestly every second just counts. Profitability, sometimes even safety, it's all on the line. And in those moments, well, equipment isn't just nice to have, it's basically the pulse of the whole operation. So today we're going to do a deep dive into one specific machine that's really earned its reputation. People call it the gold standard in a lot of heavy industries. I'm talking about the Sullair 375H portable air compressor. We're going to break down what makes this particular machine so vital. We've got tech specs, operational reports, the whole lot.
Yeah, and our goal here really is to pull out the key insights for you. Not just what this compressor does, because, okay, it compresses air, but why it's so important. For people working in really demanding fields, oil and gas, construction, you name it. And hopefully connect the dots on how it helps turn these potential emergencies or just really tight deadlines into, well, surprisingly smooth workflows.
Right, because when you think about those high stakes places, the first thing you notice about the Sullair 375H is just the raw power. The spec sheet says 375 cm meters at 150 psig. For our metric folks, that's 10.6 cubic meters per minute at 10 bar. That sounds like a lot, but what does that actually feel like? What does it mean for the crew on the ground?
Well, it's not just about the numbers, big as they are. It's really about getting rid of those bottlenecks. That spec means you get relentless, just unwavering air delivery, even when conditions are, frankly, brutal. Think about it. You don't want a sandblasting crew just standing there waiting for the compressor, or, critical pneumatic tools starting to sputter because the air can't keep up. With the 375H, you can run multiple tools, heavy-duty ones all at the same time. Keep those sandblasters going nonstop. You could even run a whole spread. Hydraulic fracturing requires huge amounts of continuous air without any hint of lag. It just keeps delivering.
Consistent output, that's key. And you mentioned the core tech rotary screw compressor technology. That sounds important. A real differentiator.
Oh, absolutely. This is like where the dependability is really engineered right into its DNA. Rotary screw tech, it's just superior for these heavy industrial uses. Why? Well, it runs cooler. It lasts much, much longer than, say, older piston compressors. Think of it maybe like a smooth, constant flow from a tap versus, I don't know, bursts from an old hand pump. One's just continuous, more efficient, less wear from starting and stopping all the time. And that translates directly into, well, a lower total cost of ownership over the machine's life, which sometimes surprises the procurement folks who might just look at the upfront price tag, That means, near zero downtime practically. And these legendary service intervals, that's exactly what you need when your operation just cannot afford any hiccups.
Okay, reliability built in. But what about actually using it day to day? Maintenance has got to be a factor. The specs mention a removable modular canopy, big doors, smart layout inside. How does that actually help the crew on site?
Oh, it's a huge deal for what we call wrench time. It means your team can get to the really critical parts, fuel tank, engine, the air filters literally in minutes. So you're drastically cutting downtime. Your team can focus on, preventative maintenance or other jobs instead of fighting with the machine just to get access. It seems like a small design choice, but it has this massive ripple effect on daily productivity, a real game changer.
And portability, too. It mentions an adjustable height hitch and an easy lube axle. Sounds kind of minor, maybe. But I can picture a messy, uneven site. How important is that?
You're absolutely spot on. It's those details that really separate the good machines from the great ones. That hitch design means it hooks up super easily to all sorts of tow vehicles, no hassle. And the axle, the wheels, they call it easy lube, and they're just tough. Tenacious wheels built for the real world, so it just rolls across rough, uneven ground without any problems. It goes wherever the job takes it. Less time getting stuck, basically, more time actually working.
Okay, so we've got power, we've got the core tech giving reliability, and it's built for easy maintenance and getting around. Let's zoom out a bit. What does this all really mean for the bottom line? For you, the listener, maybe you're an industrial procurement manager or a pipeline contractor, plant engineer. What are the tangible results here?
Right. Operationally, financially, the 375H really delivers. It's field proven. First, failures. That best-in-class rotary screw core, top-tier components, it's all built tough. Stands up to dust, vibration, running all day. So fewer equipment failures, period. Second, overheating. Big problem in some places. Its smart cooling and airflow design prevents those costly overheats, keeps it running smoothly, even in crazy temperatures, West Texas heat or a freezing Canadian winter.
And that's not just avoiding breakdowns, right? It's avoiding that lost time, the waiting around.
Exactly. And crucially, that consistent output we talked about. Hmm. You're never going to be sweating about air starvation. That 375 cm at 150 psig means your tools get fed properly, spray patterns are optimized, sandblasting finishes smooth, all shift long. No interruptions. So every hour of labor is productive, which means you accelerate your return on investment. You maximize the work you get done, minimize those unexpected costs.
That consistency, that resilience, it sounds like the heart of its reliability. I like the analogy in the source material, calling it the iron lung for crews who have never heard of quitting time. Powerful image. But let's be realistic. Even with a tough machine like this, in those demanding environments, what's usually the weakest link, the most common failure point you might expect, and how does this Sullair actually guard against that?
That's a really good question. Because, yeah, even the best gear has potential weak spots. Often, it's things like inadequate cooling in really extreme conditions,
Yeah.
leading to overheating, or sometimes just component wear from being run hard continuously under high stress.
Yeah.
Operations directors, safety officers, they know the immutable law of industry, right?
Yeah.
Downtime just kills profit. It erodes safety. It absolutely shreds deadlines.
Yeah.
Which is exactly why savvy B2B buyers, they really scour the market. They're looking for one of the reliable portable industrial air compressors on the market. And time and again, they find Sullair leading the pack. Because of those design choices, like the smart cooling system we talked about, and just really robust component selection, you see white papers detailing how these models just dominate uptime stats, not just by being tough, but by being engineered to kind of preempt those common failure points, which ultimately slashes your cost per shift. I mean, I've heard stories, anecdotes about these machines just powering through dust storms that would choke other equipment,
Yeah.
or running nonstop through a Canadian winter where, the cold makes steel brittle. It's like they almost thrive on that kind of challenge.
That level of durability is pretty incredible. Makes you think, doesn't it? All those supposedly minor hiccups or maintenance delays, how much they actually add up on a big project, cost-wise. But, okay, beyond the machine itself, there's the supplier angle. Our sources mention PE Energy. They call them North America's most responsive, real-world industrial supply powerhouse. What's the advantage for someone actually buying this compressor, procuring it through them?
Right, zooming out to the procurement process itself, working with a supplier like PE Energy, it offers real strategic pluses. If you're outfitting a new facility or have a huge project, you can often get competitive pricing on bulk orders. That helps the budget. But maybe more importantly, you get expert guidance. Zero guesswork. You get a dedicated pro who helps you spec the right machine, get the quote, handle the order, and not just for the compressor, but all the extras too, the piping, hoses, couplers, and crucially, the genuine Sullair spare parts.
Ah, the genuine parts aspect. That sounds key.
It is. It leads straight to factory direct authenticity. You know you're getting genuine Sullair spares.
Yeah.
That maximizes your uptime, protects your warranty. You avoid those risky aftermarket knockoffs that, frankly, can sometimes cause more problems than they solve.
Okay, so let's try and pull this all together then. What we're seeing is the Sullair 375H portable air compressor offers, well, durability that just shrugs off the toughest conditions. It gives you output that can handle pretty much any pneumatic job you throw at it. And service access that seems like it was designed by people who actually know what a real job site is like.
Yeah, it really highlights just how critical choosing the right equipment is. It's not an exaggeration to say it can literally tilt the scales between getting that project done on time, getting that payoff, or ending up in a kind of punch list nightmare. Every single minute your operation is starved for air. You're just bleeding productivity. You're burning budget. You're risking the future of that contract. It's not just another tool. It's really a foundational strategic asset, something that safeguards your project's success.
So thinking about that level of engineering, all focused on minimizing downtime, maximizing output, it does make you wonder, doesn't it? How might the continued evolution of this kind of specialized industrial equipment impact the long-term efficiency, the operational resilience of critical infrastructure projects all around the world? Something to think about next time you need reliable air on a tough job.